Hello, friends. Today, I want to share with you something that I have learned to send mom guilt packing, right? So, I don't know about you, but once I became a mom, I dealt with this lovely thing called mom guilt. And I learned very quickly that I need to beat this thing, beat the mom guilt, and send it packing for good. So, we're going to talk today about how to do that. Because here's the deal, it is real, right? Mom guilt is so real and it's really hard. It can be so debilitating, right? If you're a mama, let me know, right? Give me an amen. We know what it's like to question ourselves and to wonder, am I doing it right? And to feel like I'm failing and all of these things. And it is not a fun way to live. It straight up sucks, honestly, when we're trapped in mom guilt. Here's the deal. There is a way to kick mom guilt's butt out of your life for good. Like, seriously. It's awesome, okay? And it's this strategy. It's a life coaching strategy that I like to call thought work. There's a couple of different names for it. I personally call it thought work because it's pretty self-explanatory. It's thought work. All right, there's 3 simple steps. So, number 1, if you are experiencing mom guilt, you need to pause and identify what are you telling yourself? What are you thinking? What's going on in your head? If you're feeling that guilt, that weighing down of like, oh, what is it that you're thinking? What are you thinking? Okay, what's triggering that feeling of guilt? Is it, man, I should have made homemade pasta sauce instead of buying the canned stuff? Or is it that, Susie's mom does this thing and I don't? Or whatever it is. What is the thought that's triggering the guilt? And it could just be something as simple as just like feeling like a thought that, right, like I'm not good enough. That's a really common one. I'm not good enough. So what are you thinking? That's the first thing. And I highly recommend, by the way, like paper and pen, get a paper and pen and journal your answer to these steps. I journal this, okay? So you start by identifying what are you telling yourself, okay? So write it down. What are the thoughts? And there might be like 5 of them. Write them down. All the ones that come to mind that are triggering the guilt, okay? Then look at them and ask, is that 100% true? Okay? Hint, the answer is most likely no. The answer is most likely no. For example, I'm not good enough. Because here's the deal, going back to the thoughts, right? The thoughts that trigger. Write down all the thoughts that trigger the guilt and then see if you can find a theme. Because oftentimes there is a theme. There's often some sort of theme like, I'm not good enough. Or I'm a failure. Or it kind of often comes back to something about our identity when we're experiencing mom guilt. Or a wrong belief. I can't be a good mom and work. That's one I had to struggle with majorly, like that I've had to work on. And honestly, that's a belief that I have to daily or every few days kind of intentionally make sure I'm replacing it with a good thought and a right thought of true that actually working actually makes me a better mom because I am doing something that I love and kind of getting my excitement tank filled up a little bit by working from home, and it helps keep me more structured. So anyway, my point is that ultimately all of whatever the thoughts are, if you look at them, let's say you've got 10 different thoughts, you're going to find a pattern and it's going to tie back to some sort of belief, often of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm a failure, a wrong belief about motherhood has to be hard, I'm a bad mom, I can't work and be a good mom at the same time, it's one or the other, something always has to give. Some of those thoughts, those are all wrong. Those are not wrong as in like bad, but like incorrect. Those are all like, they're not true. They're not 100% true. And so that's why, so you find the theme and then you ask yourself, is it 100% true? And the answer is most likely no. Now here's the deal. It might feel true. You might look at that and go like, it feels true, but you kind of know, oh no, when I actually think about it, it's probably not 100% true. There's probably going to be sometimes I make stuff from scratch for my kids. Sometimes, I was there for her last night when she was crying and I cuddled her till she fell asleep, or whatever. Like, you're going to find it's not typically going to be 100% true. So if you can say it's not 100% true, I want you to think of at least 3 reasons that prove it's not 100% true. Find evidence for the fact that you are a good mom. Find evidence for the fact that you are worthy, that you do a good job, that you can juggle it all. Okay? And then flip it. What do I mean by that? Well, you're going to find a new thought. So let's say that I'll use my personal example that I was already using, right? So I had this belief that I cannot work and be a good mom. I can't do a good job as a work from home businesswoman and be a good mom. I believed that it was one or the other. And so I looked at that and I realized that's not 100% true, because I'm doing it and I'm doing a pretty good job as far as I have a good relationship with my daughter and I am doing fairly well with my work. So I'm already balancing it well, but my thoughts around it are wrong. So I found evidence and then I flipped it. And so I looked at it and I said, well, working from home blesses my family. Me working blesses my family. How? It blesses my family because I have to be more structured, and that's a good thing. I have more structure because then I manage my time better. So I actually have more time for my family when I'm working, because the times that I'm done working are my family time, and so I'm more focused instead of being scattered. I am feeling fulfilled. Like, my job gives me so much joy and fulfillment and purpose that it enhances the joy and fulfillment and purpose I feel with my family. So it kind of doubles it. So all of it just feels more purposeful and more fulfilled. Being a work from home mom actually serves my family because it helps it's a financial blessing. Our finances are increased because of it, and we're able to, afford some other things that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise, right? So I'm finding, for me, I'm just giving you my own personal example that I've had to walk through. But you do this with anything, right? You do that same flipping though. You look at the thought, what's the thought that's not true, not 100% true, and you flip it. And it may be something that you have to just slightly flip, right? If you're saying like, let's say that your belief is that you're not a good mom. Maybe it's I'm a bad mom. Well, it's not 100% true, right? You take care of your kids. You love them. You make sure they're fed. You make sure they're clothed. You make sure they go to school, or you homeschool them, or whatever education option you've chosen, right? So you can think of examples to prove that, no, you're actually a good mom. But maybe when it's time to think, I am a good mom. I'm a great mom. I'm the best mom for my kids. Maybe sometimes it's not always easy to jump right to that when we've been believing I'm a bad mom for a really long time. So maybe you can think, I'm doing the best I can. I'm being the best mom I can be right now. Right now. Just focus on right now. I'm doing the best I can. And see, when you think that, it gives you confidence. I'm doing the best I can. And I'm going to do better tomorrow, right? And eventually you'll get to the point where you can say, I'm an awesome mom. So you flip it. And so when you find that new thought, you find that flipped new thought that empowers you, that is more positive than the previous thought you were holding, and that you can hold it as true and believe, I'm doing the best I can, or I'm a great mom. Whenever the ugly thought of I'm a bad mom, I can't do this, comes back, because it will come back. Okay, this process isn't going to automatically just make it magically disappear. Okay, it's not. You have to work. You have to do the work of sending it packing, okay? So when the ugly bad thought, ugly disempowering thought rears its head, what you want to do is say, nope, that is not true. You say your new thought. And you can even honestly say it out loud. It'll make the process go a lot faster. I'm doing the best I can. Me being a work from home mom blesses my family. It doesn't take away from my family. It blesses them. right? So as you find, so you replace it. Okay, so every time the ugly thought comes back, you replace it with a new thought and say, no, that's not true. What's the new thought? Okay, and you're gonna have to do that. It's a process. You're gonna have to do that. It might be several times a day for a while, but then you're gonna find over time, as you're consistent and disciplined in doing that new thought and thinking that new thought, you then will find that it goes less and less and less, that you're having to fight to add the new thought. You'll find that that the ugly thought starts to fade away, and eventually you're going to wake up one morning and go like, wow, the first thought I'm thinking is, I am doing the best I can. I'm an awesome mom. I'm able to do it all. What I'm doing blesses my family. And that is just the natural thought because you've replaced the old one. And guys, oh man, it's so good. It's so good when you do that because it's like a weight off your chest and you no longer have to fight the mom guilt. It's a process, right? We have to fight it, but once you've fought it and kicked it out, it's gone. Like, it's gone. And now you have the tool that if it wants to come back, because it'll try to come back in different ways. It always will. Okay? It'll try. But here's the deal. You can decide, nope, I'm not living in that guilt anymore. So that is what you do. This process is so helpful in keeping the mom guilt away because you can do this every time it comes up, okay? So, because you might find like you do it once and you're like, oh my gosh, it works so well, but then you start slipping into mom guilt a little bit again. And you're like, what happened? Well, either you got a little lazy with your thought work and you stopped trying to hold the new thought and you started letting the thoughts creep back in, or there's a deeper thought that maybe has kind of cropped back up because you dealt with that one. You dealt with the first one, but then there's maybe a deeper one that you need to deal with or another one you need to deal with. It happens. Because here's the deal. When it comes to thoughts and dealing with issues like guilt or shame or anything like that, it's an onion. So you're going to find there's a layer and you can peel the layer off and you'll feel great for a while, but then after a while it might deteriorate a little bit and you got to peel the next layer to get deeper and deeper until you finally get to the core. And you can do it. You can do it. You can follow this thought work process and work it out for yourself. But if you want to go even deeper and faster, if you want to get deeper, faster, and get longer lasting results because you have support, walking through this process with a life coach who can ask you even like other questions, who can help you make connections that maybe you're too close to see them yourself, because sometimes that happens. Having someone who is not inside your head listen to you and tell you what you said and help you draw connections can be super helpful. So walking through this thought work process with a life coach can be super helpful to get faster, deeper, and longer lasting results. And because we have even more tools, strategies, and training, sometimes we can dig even deeper to help you find an even deeper root that you didn't even realize was the deeper root of the mom guilt or whatever, and that's affecting other areas of your life. It's been so crazy to see as I've been coached and as I've coached others to see how we start with one issue and then we get down to the root and see that it's something that affects their whole life, that when they change that thought, their whole life changes. It's amazing. And I've experienced it myself too. Because here's the deal. The problem, whatever you think the problem is, isn't always the real problem. You might think, oh, I keep yelling at my kids. Oh, that's so, like, why am I so impatient? Why do I keep yelling at my kids? Well, it could be that, yeah, you're impatient and you keep yelling at your kids, but there might be a deeper root issue of maybe you see something in your kids. Maybe they have a character trait that you have and you're afraid for them because you don't want them to experience maybe some of the difficult things you've had to experience. And so you want to protect them, but you don't know how to effectively train them out of what you see. And so maybe there's a fear in there that needs to be worked through. Does that make sense? So like, see, things can get really deep. And so you can do it on your own. You can do the thought work, but working with a life coach will help you go even deeper, even faster. And having those tools and strategies and having someone in your corner cheering you on, supporting you and holding you accountable totally helps things like last longer and really stick. So I really encourage you, walk through this process, walk through this thought work process. And if you're seeing, wow, this is working, or I need more help, please reach out to me. I would love to chat with you and see how I can help you, because mom guilt is horrible. It is a joy and life sucker, and no one should be living in that horrible cycle, and I want to help you break free. So please drop me a message or a comment and let me know if you want to chat and see how to eradicate mom guilt from your life for good. All right. Have a beautiful day, friends. If this this 3-step process of thought work, of identifying what you're telling yourself, asking yourself if it's 100% true, and flipping it, if you find this to be helpful and encouraging or even a kick in the pants, please share this with your friends, share it with your mom friends, and let's eradicate mom guilt from all of our lives. All right? Have a wonderful day, friends.